Okay, hello, good evening. Welcome to another live session. Okay, let's dive in. As always, I made a Amalfi. Just a second, I'm still new to this. Okay, so we're going to talk about Amalfi and specifically the Amalfi town. Yeah, let's dive in. I'm Leo, and I'm a guide and a travel agent in Italy, mainly in the south of Italy. I work mainly in the area of Naples and Capri and the Amalfi Coast and Pompeii. I am not Italian, but I live here for about 10 years now, and my wife is Italian, and my kids are Italian, and I love it. And what we'll talk about, we will talk about the Amalfi town itself, and in the later part I will talk a bit about how to get there, and a bit about planning a trip in that area, and things that are really close to Amalfi and things that are a bit further and can be done as a day trip. I will be happy if you will have questions, and I will be happy to answer them. So as always, I'm doing location so we understand where we are. We are in Italy, in the Mediterranean, and we are going to the south of Italy. Here is Rome, the capital, more or less in the center, and we are going around Naples, in the area of Naples, and this is the Bay of Naples. I talked a lot about it in my former live sessions. And here is Amalfi, little town, and all this part is called the Sorrento Peninsula, and all this part is the famous Amalfi Road. The road number is SS163. That is the road number of the Amalfi Road, Amalfi Coast. It goes all along the coast, and Amalfi is more or less in the center of it. And here is Capri, the beautiful island of Capri, and here is Pompeii, and here is the volcano, and here is Naples. We'll talk a bit about all of these places a bit more. I would like to invite you to download a program that I have. Let me just a second show it to you. So there is a free download program that you can download if you wish. It built like a 4-day program, but of course you can make it longer, and it has a lot of information. So one day is Pompeii and the Vesuvio day trip, and one day is the area of the Amalfi Coast trip, one day is Capri, and so on. And I recommend places to sleep. And here is an example of a town of Amalfi. So there are all the links, the useful links, and then there are all the links to the places to see. This is kind of a short version. It's like a day trip. I have fuller versions on my site, but this is the free version. And then Ravello, that I will mention a bit today, and we will talk about. So this is the program, and I invite you to come to visit my site, SeeingPlaceswithLior.com, and download it, because I think it's okay. I'm gonna go on with the presentation now. So this is the Amalfi Coast. This is a closer look on the Amalfi Coast, and there is a big town called Salerno on the eastern part, and Sorrento on the western part. Sorrento is not exactly on the Amalfi Coast. Only this part is called the Amalfi Coast. And Amalfi is right in the middle of it. It used to be the most important town on that coast. That's why it's called the Amalfi Coast. And I will say that I did a live about the area and about Sorrento. I also have a video in my channel about Sorrento. And I think if you are coming for 2, 3, 4 days, Sorrento is a good place to locate yourself. It's the advantage of Sorrento that is better connected than Amalfi. There is a train to Sorrento from Naples. There are a lot of tourism in Sorrento. It's the biggest town, so there are more bus connections, and it's closer to Capri, to Pompeii, and to Vesuvius, to the Vesuvius mountain. So in general, I think Sorrento is a good place to locate yourself for a vacation of a few days. But the Amalfi Coast, and also you can do a kind of day tour or 2-day tour to the area of the Amalfi Coast from Sorrento. But the Amalfi Coast is really a unique part of the world, and people really like it. Also, Sorrento is really, really beautiful, but the Amalfi Coast have a different charm, and people like to spend time there on the Amalfi Coast. And so if you are planning to do a longer visit, you can divide maybe your days, like 3-4 days in Sorrento, and then move to the area of Amalfi Coast. Now, Positano is also very famous. You can see it's more or less in the middle between Amalfi and Sorrento. So I think if you are staying in Sorrento, there's not much point moving to Positano. It's about 40-minute drive, because it don't change much your plan, although Positano is beautiful. If you want to explore the coast, Amalfi is more central. So instead of going from Sorrento every day, an hour or 2-hour drive to the coast, you can stay a few days in Sorrento and then move to the area of Amalfi and explore the coast more deeply. Also, the coast is more suitable for beach kind of vacations, for more beach time. The beaches on the Amalfi Coast are sandier and a bit more welcoming than the one in Sorrento. And also there's a lot of trekking in that area. So if you have 7 days and you want to kind of explore this area more deeply, Amalfi is a great option as it's very central. And there's a few bigger towns. It's Positano, Amalfi, and Vietri sul Mare. Also Maiori is a big town, but Amalfi is charming and right in the middle. So what's to see in the Amalfi town? I will show you the beach, the cathedral, some museum, and Valle delle Ferriere. It's a kind of a natural area. So this is Amalfi. It's a small town. We're talking about around 4,000 people, 4,000, 5,000. And you can see the beauty of the Amalfi Coast and the beautiful cathedral. And it's right in this little valley, very steep. The area of the Amalfi Coast is very, very steep area. And here is the beach, okay? Here we can see the beach area. Look how beautiful it is. So, and that's pretty much it. This is Amalfi. Of course, the villages around are also, the houses around are also part of the town. Really beautiful. So it's a small town, but it's very, very touristic. So in the tourist season, it's very alive, and there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of cafes and bars, and it's full of activity and it's full of hotels, and it's a really fun place to be. And this is the beach. This is off season. Usually the beach is full of umbrellas and sunbeds that are being rented, and this is the area of the ferries. It's right in the middle of town, and you can take ferries to visit the area around. I will talk a bit more about transportation. Here there is a cemetery, and there's a kind of a tunnel here, and there is an elevator that goes up to a viewpoint that you can also walk down back to the town. So the cathedral is probably the most interesting structure in that area, I think, of the Amalfi Coast. It's really extremely beautiful. It has a cloister inside, a beautiful cloister. You need a ticket to enter, no need to book in advance, and it's very impressive. It's right in the center of town, as you saw. Amalfi also have some museums. One is the paper museum, Museo della Carta. It's the old ways to make paper, and it's a nice museum. It's also nice for children. They do all kind of activities for children. It's a good museum, well managed. And the other museum is the Arsenale of Amalfi. So Amalfi used to be an important naval city, and it was a republic, a naval republic, and have some history in this sector. And there is the arsenal and some explanation about the boats and the history of the place. So these are two museums. This area of Amalfi, it's a very naturalistic area. It's not really, there's not many museums and not many these kind of things. And Amalfi have a few things, so it's also nice. Of course, all kind of experiences of there are limoncello places that make, and they show you how to make, and a tour in the lemon groves, and of course all kind of experiences of making food and wine. There is great wine in the area, so all these things exist in Amalfi and in all the coast, but these museums are quite unique. And the Valle delle Ferriere is a nature area that is just really, you walk to the end of town and you start to go into the mountain, and there is very quickly you reach a very humid environment full of water and waterfalls. You can put your feet in the water and have a little dip. It's nice in the summer. The summer can get very hot, so this area is a bit shady and a bit cooler with all the water around. And the whole area is full of hiking options. There are great hiking options in the Amalfi Coast. This one that is just going out of Amalfi is relatively easy. Also, it's a going and coming back, so you can walk for a bit, half an hour, 40 minutes, to reach the area of the water. And if you are with a family, it's a great walk. And then you come back, and of course, if you want, you can keep. If you're in better shape and a more of a trekking, walking person, then you have a lot of options to keep walking there. I wanted to say something about it. Yeah, I wanted to say that as you saw all the cliffs, it's a very steep area. So a lot of the walking include a lot of climbing, a lot of going down, a lot of stairs. So you need to be in a pretty good shape. This specific walk is not so much like that. That's why I mention it. But if you go, the deeper you go into the mountains, the steeper it will get. So I'll put this video again so you can see again the places we talked about. This is the cathedral right in the center. This is the area of the walking, of the nature. You just start to walk and you walk into the mountains. And the museum are also here. The museum of the paper is in this part of the town, and the Arsenale is in this part. And the beach right here. Okay, very simple, very accessible. This is something nice about the Amalfi towns. They are small and everything is very accessible. Also the port, also the beach, and so it's nice to walk around, and it's easy. Let's see some things to see around Amalfi. So this is kind of a close-up of the map. Here is Amalfi. Here is the museum of the paper, and here is the natural area. Okay, to walk. There are a few things. First, there is Atrani. It's a little village right next to Amalfi. If I wouldn't tell you it's a different village, you wouldn't even think that you would have thought that it's still Amalfi. It's very pretty. It's considered to be the smallest comune. Comune is like a municipality in Italy. So it's nice to have a visit. And then there is Ravello. Now, Ravello is also very famous, and as you can see, it's not on the coast. Most of the towns are on the coast, and this is kind of their charm and magic. Ravello is on the mountain, and actually from Ravello you have great views down on the coast itself. And I'm going to mention Minori and Maiori. Let's have a quick look. So Atrani, really the towns look similar in a way, but it's just so magical that you never have enough. It's really small. Okay, this is pretty much all it is. Here you can see a bit of a beach, and inside, and there is the church, of course, and it's just behind the curve of Amalfi. You can walk there and spend a few hours, have lunch, or spend on the beach, just to change a bit the atmosphere. Here in the distance, we can see 𝐬𝐢𝐭𝐞, the town of 𝐬𝐢𝐭𝐞. And this is the view from 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜. 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜 is people really like 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜 because it has a bit of a mountain feeling. Yeah, all the towns are on the beach, and this one have a bit of a mountain feeling. There are two villas in 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜 to see: Villa Ruffolo, Villa Cimbrone, and they are both very, very beautiful with beautiful gardens. This view is from Ruffolo, this amazing view. And I forgot to mention a walk. Let me just a second go back to this map. Okay, so I just didn't mention a walk. There are nice walks here that you can go from 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜 with the stairs to the town of Minori, and then there is the famous Sentiero dei Limoni, the lemon trail that goes between 𝐬𝐿𝑜 and Minori. It's really loved. It's about 1 hour, and you go up. You go a bit in the lemon groves and look down on the beautiful coast and go down 𝐬𝐿𝑜. So this is Atrani, this is 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜. Also, you can see 𝐬𝐿𝑜 in the distance there. And this is 𝐬𝐿𝑜, is the bigger town, like major. Yeah, 𝐬𝐿𝑜 is major and Minori is minor. And here in the distance, it's 𝐸𝑉𝑒𝑙𝑜 up here. And Amalfi town is just here behind the mountain, the next bay. And Minori is here, is behind the bay here, is inside. 𝐬𝐿𝑜 is quite a big town, and I like it because it's, I mean, it's less characteristic of the coast. You can see the building; it's a bit more modern. Don't have this classic shape of the Amalfi towns because it's wider and it's more open, the bay that it sits on. So it's maybe less magical, but it has advantages that the beach is a lot wider and bigger, and it's a great sandy beach. And also there is a nice walk along the promenade all along. It's more than 1 kilometer long that you can walk, and it's a nice space to be also with children. And also the town center is a pedestrian area, and it's relatively flat. All the towns in Amalfi are very, very steep. Amalfi itself, the town, also have the center quite flat, but pretty quickly you need to go to the side and start to climb the stairs. Positano is very steep, and 𝐬𝐿𝑜 is pretty flat. So also the center of town is a nice pedestrian area. I think it's more suitable for families with kids or with the adults that have a bit more difficulty in walking. So it's a bit further from the coast, from the main points of interest like Sorrento, like Positano, like Capri, but anyway, it's on the coast and is well connected. Minori is a classic town, beautiful, and it has a very, very famous pasticceria. Pasticceria is where they make sweet pastry things. It's called Sal de Riso, and it's one of the most prestigious one in Italy. So I extremely recommend to pass in Minori, especially for that, to have a cake. And day trips that you can do from Amalfi, there's Positano, there's Capri, Sorrento, and Salerno. So let's see them on the map. This is Salerno, big city, and there is Positano, which is about the same size as Amalfi, and there is Sorrento. And Capri is here on the left of the map, is direction west. So back, I will say that the way to travel in this area is either with a bus. There is a bus that goes from Salerno along the road and reach Amalfi, and then you change to another bus that goes from Amalfi through Positano all along the coast and to Sorrento. Or with ferries. There are ferries that are connected between everywhere. So you can take a ferry to Capri, to the island, and a ferry to Sorrento, or to Positano, or to Salerno. The bus is a lot cheaper, but it can get quite busy in the summer, and then it's not so comfortable. The bus might be full, and you don't stop for people waiting on the road. And the road itself might be busy. You can see how winding it is, so it's a slow road, and if there are many cars, it can get a bit jammed. So bus, try to understand when you visit if it's a busy time, a less busy time, if you choose a bus or a ferry. This area of the Amalfi don't have a train. There's no train on the Amalfi coast. There is a train going from Naples to Sorrento along the bay here, but it don't reach here. So either a bus, either a ferry. Positano, I mentioned before, one of probably the most loved town on the Amalfi coast. See how beautiful it is. Very, very steep. Okay, have two bays. This one is the main. And again, you can see the ferry and the ticket offices are right here. All this thing with the ferry works very good. It brings you right to the center of town. The bus go up here on the road, and then you need to walk all the way down and all the way up to reach the road. Excuse me. And the ferry just take you right in the center of town. We don't see it, but behind there is the church and all the little alleys with the shops and the main area of Positano. Positano have two beaches. This one is the main, and another one here that you can reach by walking. Here it's very nice, little short walk, and you reach the other beach. So this is Positano. The towns are small, so you can, if you are doing a day visit, if you are coming from the cruise, or you just have one day to see Amalfi Coast, 1 hour, 2 hours is enough to wander around and get the feel of the place. If you want to spend time on the beach, if you want to eat in a restaurant, if you want to do some shopping or some hiking, you can spend a whole day in Positano. The island of Capri, my live session from last week was on Capri, so you can check it out and have a lot of information about the island. It's a classic day trip. I didn't say the time from Amalfi to Positano with the ferry, about half an hour. With the bus is about 40 minutes, and from Amalfi to Capri is about an hour with the ferry. It's a beautiful, beautiful island. There's quite a lot to see, but a day trip is a classic day full of things to do. Some people sleep on Capri. Most of them don't, but this is a personal choice. So as a day trip, there are a lot of things to do. And Sorrento is a bit further up. Is about further from Amalfi. It's about an hour with the ferry. With the bus, it's about an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. Sorrento is a big town on this peninsula. It's the biggest, around 20,000 people. It's a beautiful town. It's really loved by people, and you can see it's different. You see just one picture, but it don't have this valley shape like all the towns of the Amalfi Coast, because officially Sorrento is not considered part of the Amalfi Coast. It's flat at the top, and then there are the cliffs that goes to the beach. That's why the beaches here are less attractive, in my opinion, than the beaches on the Amalfi towns. There is an elevator, not in this picture, but there is an elevator that goes down. There are some steps that goes down, but it's a very pretty town, and you can definitely spend a day there shopping and going around the alleys. It's a very beautiful place. So this is another great day tour. And the city of Salerno, okay, on the east. Now Salerno, this bay is called Salerno Bay. The Amalfi Coast is sitting on the Bay of Salerno. It's the biggest city in that area. Naples is a lot bigger, but Salerno is also a very big city, and it has a big port, and it has a historical center, and it has a promenade to walk along the beach. It's a nice city. I love the south, and I love pretty much everything about it. So I will always say good things about places, but I think it's not a must visit in this area. Again, depend on your style of travel and what you are looking for. And there's quite a lot to see. And if you want to see a city with a nice historical center with some nice churches and other things, then shopping if you want, because it's a city. If there are some special events, it's a good occasion to arrive. So this is Salerno, a big city, and will be relevant for transportation. So this is Salerno, okay, and how to reach. I'm doing a zoom out a bit. So this is the Amalfi Coast, and we are talking about how to reach Amalfi. But if you will reach here, you will either come by an airplane to Naples, is the biggest airport around. And there is a bus shuttle by this company, PIN2, that goes from Naples to Amalfi. It's about 2 hours, okay, because it goes on the highway or here, and then it starts to go all along the coast. This road is very, very slow, and it stops along the other towns of the coast, and you reach Amalfi. So this is the only shuttle, direct shuttle, public one that I know. I mean, it's not a public company, they are private, but they are offering around 6-7 times a day. Is PIN2. Of course, you can take a driver, a private driver, a taxi. It will cost, depends on the day, the date, the hour, and how many people you are, but it will cost between 100 to 200 euro. The drive from Naples to Amalfi town. So this is the airport of Naples. I will talk about there is also a little airport in Salerno. It's relatively a new airport. Just last year it started to be operational, and it's very well connected to Salerno, obviously, this airport. And then from Salerno you can take again the bus, the SITA bus. This is a public bus. The company is called SITA, that goes from Salerno to Amalfi. It's about an hour from Salerno to Amalfi with a bus. Now, Salerno is also, if you are not going to Sorrento and you want to reach directly to Amalfi, and you are coming either from Naples or from north of Italy, from Rome, from Florence or Venice, Salerno is well connected with trains, so you can take a train directly from north of Italy and reach Salerno. And then from Salerno, you can either use the public bus, the SITA bus. It's working okay, and there are also ferries from Salerno to Amalfi. It's about half an hour ferry from Salerno to Amalfi, something like this. And it's quite comfortable. I think the train option, if you are reaching from the north of Italy, I think this is the most efficient way to go, to reach Salerno with the train, and then take either the ferry or the bus. The bus leaves right outside of the train station. So this is the easiest, kind of cheapest and easiest way to reach. Of course, a private driver is better. From Naples itself, not from the airport, there are many ways to reach Amalfi. Of course, there is a bus. Early in the morning it goes, and it's about 2 hours. It's a public bus, also SITA, so it goes also along the highway and then goes into Amalfi. And then there are ferries to Amalfi. It's about an hour and a half, depends how quick is the ferry, depends if it stops on the way, but it's about an hour and a half, the ferry from Naples to Amalfi. And then you can reach Sorrento with a train, or there is a shuttle also from the airport to Sorrento, and then you need to take the SITA bus to Amalfi, which is about an hour and 20 minutes. So you can see now, is not so well connected. It's because of this special terrain of these cliffs and the sea. It's not so well connected to the land. It was a marine republic. It was a good place to arrive with a boat, but on modern times it's a bit more clumsy to reach it. You can see also, if you don't come from the coast, if you go from the mountain, it's also these super winding roads that are just slow. So I think the best way is from Naples airport with the shuttle bus, or to take a ferry, but then you need to reach the port. From the airport of Naples, there is a kind of a shuttle bus that stops in the train station and in the port. So you can choose if you want to do a journey to Salerno and then take the ferry, or directly take the ferry to Amalfi from the port. And this is pretty much it. It's a short one. Amalfi, it's a relatively small place. I invite you to join me on my next live. It will be on the 1st of March, and I will talk about Puglia. Puglia is a region in Italy. Italy is divided into 20 regions. All Amalfi and Naples is called Campania, the region. Puglia is like the heel of the boot. If Italy is a boot, the heel part is Puglia. And I will talk a bit about Puglia, what there is to see, and how to plan a tour there. I invite you to give me a like and a subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I invite you to follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm called Seeing Places with Lior. I also have a Facebook group to this area of Napoli and the Amalfi coast. It's a great tool if you are planning, you're traveling. I update there for special events, for especially if new routes of a ferry or bus. If the road is closed one day, it's a very direct way to communicate with information about the area, and other travelers are part of this group, people that already visited, and they will give you their recommendation. It's great. This is my site, Seeing Places with Lior, and you can download the free program that I recommend. If you have any questions, I'm still doing this live on my own, but anyway, it will come up. And if you have any questions, please do. I'm very happy to help. It's a great place to travel, and I think it is a bit difficult to find information. So anything you would like to ask me, you can do it in the comments or in my Facebook group. We'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much, and I hope. Let me just say like this, full screen. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you around. Give me a call if you are coming, and I will be happy to welcome you. So goodbye, and arrivederci.